Here's another amazing view from the Radisson Plaza Hotel. We'll shift our fundraising focus from chefs to horses. We'll tell you all about it coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Radisson Plaza Hotel, Myrtle Beach. We're focused on tomorrow night's March of Dimes Star Chefs event. And we're visiting with Tonia Speir, a partner with Case Solutions and the chairperson for this year's March of Dimes Star Chefs event. Good morning, Tonia.
Good morning, Greg. It's nice to meet you.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank
How
you.
exciting to think just tomorrow night.
I know, the excitement. I just can't stand it. We're getting there. It seems like it's been in the making for a while. So.
Absolutely. How far in advance did y'all begin preparing for tomorrow night's event?
We started planning in late July.
Okay.
And just in the past few weeks, everything comes to a close and you start wrapping up loose ends and pulling everything together. So we've been busy.
So great getting Kim Lloyd and James in yesterday, and Nick Sherfacy, and of course all the folks in from the March of Dimes that are really making this, Maureen Beccaria, just really making this an exciting event tomorrow night. I'm sure you must be ecstatic.
We are, and we've been blessed with a wonderful group of people this year that have just brought enthusiasm and energy to the table, and I think we're really going to set the standard for what this event's going to become.
Listen up, that's great, and ticket sales have been real strong.
Yes.
Yeah. And you all have also been selling something for a trip to Aruba. We want to hear about that a little more, so we'll have to highlight that. Where are you from originally, Tonia? What attracted you to the greater Myrtle Beach area? Well,
I actually grew up in northern Virginia in a little town called Manassas, Virginia. So our Civil War buffs will know that as the Battle of Bull Run or the Battle of Manassas. And I went to school in Atlanta, Georgia, and my husband is actually from Atlanta, Georgia. When we decided to get married, we wanted to pick a place that was in the dead center of both of our families, and that happened to be Myrtle Beach. So
Myrtle Beach is right between Atlanta and Manassas.
Exactly. 6.5 hours each way. He lives just south of Atlanta, so
that's
it's a fair trip.
And you attended school in Atlanta. What was your major?
I majored in marketing communications. I attended the Art Institute of Atlanta, and I went through I worked with Ralph Lauren, and I worked in architecture, and I eventually ended up in the advertising industry. So,
what'd you do following graduation?
I worked with Ralph Lauren in his showroom in Atlanta.
Straight into Ralph Lauren. How exciting. What's that like working for Ralph Lauren? Of course, everyone thinks of so many aspects. I guess Ralph Lauren himself.
Right. On
the ads, he's done a great job, probably like Colonel Sanders. I mean, really getting a good shot of himself and folks wrapping around his image.
Sure.
What's that like working for Ralph Lauren?
He's a spectacular man, and just working with the buyers and prepping the lines, and I learned a lot about fashion and how to present clothing and how far in advance it's actually projected. But it was more of a special events role and a lot of fun and a lot of late nights. So.
I'm sure. Tonia, share with the viewers a little bit about Case Solutions. How long has it been operating? What kind of services do you all provide?
Case Solutions. It stands for Collaborative, Authentic, Simple, and Effective, which is what we feel all ad campaigns should be. We're a full-service advertising agency here in the Myrtle Beach area. And my partners and I, we both came from agencies in bigger cities and wanted to bring that experience to the table to Myrtle Beach businesses that are growing, that need that type of experience and expertise, but just not with the big agency price tag that goes with it. So.
Right. Wow, and you found that, and folks have been receptive.
Yes, we opened up in April, and we've just been really fortunate to have some good people to do business with out of the area and here in Myrtle Beach.
And I think the agency's headquarters are very close to the Radisson Plaza Hotel.
That's right, right down on the corner of Oak Street and 10th Avenue, right across from the police station.
Yeah,
so we should be pretty safe there.
Very safe, great location, that's right. How'd you all decide on that location?
It kind of found us. We had our very first office down on Grissom, and this is an old beach home that came available, and it offered a little more space for us to grow, and it had a lot of character, and my goal was to be a handyman. I love to do fix-it-up projects and renovations, so that was kind of my treat to get in there and be able to paint and make it really ours and add some character to it.
Yeah, Tonia, well, I'm so glad y'all moved in. And that's a prime location. I've enjoyed riding by that, and obviously now seeing the for rent or for lease or for sale sign off of there. And
we'll keep an eye out. We have some exciting things to come. We're going to paint and kind of fix up the outside, and once we're settled and ready, we'll have a little housewarming for everybody.
Yeah, and the police folks will sure love that as
Right.
well, to see it fixed up across the street. That's great. How did you become involved in working with the Star Chefs event to benefit the March of Dimes?
Actually, a very dear friend of mine nominated me, or at least brought my name to the attention of the local chapter here. And I had experience working with other charities when I lived in Atlanta and also when I worked in Washington, D.C. And I was born with a birth defect, and so it's always been something near and dear to me to work with March of Dimes that helps prevent birth defects in babies. And I know that the focus of the March of Dimes this year is that we're working with premature births and working to prevent that.
So the focus changes oftentimes from year
That's right.
to year, or a couple of years. I didn't know that. That's fascinating. Well, the March of Dimes sure does so much. When did you talked about the planning process beginning back in July. When you think that far back, are there some things that have taken place over the last few months that surprised you, or things that have been particularly exciting?
Well, it's been exciting from day one, just getting into the event and getting started. Star Chefs isn't new to the Myrtle Beach area. It's something that people have been familiar with and participated in the past. And what we wanted to do this year was kind of add a new twist to it. And first of all, to up the participation and to have something new to the community, and also so that we could grow to be like some of the other large black tie affairs that the other charities have. So this year we decided to add a theme, and we went with the USO theme, and we're going to have the Myrtle Beach Big Band come and perform, and they'll be playing all your big band favorites and swing music, so that's going to be exciting. And
wow.
Just things that kind of fell into place with that to go along with the theme. We've got a lot of people excited about dressing up tomorrow night and coming in their pulling out their 40s costumes and dusting off those old military uniforms.
Yes, there should be a heck of a lot of folks that way. It's so exciting to think of all the, and y'all were selling lots of tables off, star sponsors.
Yes.
It was a real, I guess, a primary focus early on to try to, but of course ticket sales have still been, they've been robust. If someone, even at the last minute, the day before, today, wanted to buy a ticket, could they still call?
Oh, absolutely. We still have tickets available, and everyone is welcome. And we've been trying to get the word out to those people that wanted to come out and dance to their big band favorites and just enjoy an evening of great food and a lot of fun. And we've got spectacular items on the auction block up for grabs,
yeah,
too.
Share with the viewers. Can you talk about a few of those, or
Sure.
as many as you can remember?
Oh, sure. Well, we were fortunate to have the Radisson host the event this year, and Radisson is also one of our corporate sponsors. With that, a lot of their hotels have donated trips for us and people that they have affiliations with. We have a trip to the Radisson Augusta. We have a trip to Barnsley Gardens Inn and just outside of Atlanta, which will be nice. That's all inclusive of golf. We have trips to Jamaica, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and our most important trip is to Aruba, and we actually did something a little different with that to help bring more support to the organization. The committee is sponsoring a raffle, and we are going to sell tickets. They're $20 a piece. We have been selling tickets all along, but we still have some available. Only 2,000 are being sold, so you have a 1 in 2,000 chance of winning.
Yeah.
And it's a 7-night stay at the Radisson Aruba in an oceanfront suite, and it's with airfare for 2.
Great, with airfare for 2.
Yes, that's a great
7-night stay.
That's right.
Golly, well, the Radisson was kind enough at their grand opening gala back in February, which they did, and presented the Heart Ball. They gave that off, and actually one of the Heart Association board members, Louis LaBruce, and his bride are heading down to, exactly, they're heading down to Aruba in February. So it's an amazing idea, and one that surely garnered a heck of a lot of interest. Y'all will probably sell a ton of tickets for that.
I hope so.
Yes.
Ideally, we'd like to get all 2,000 sold and really, make the excitement come to a boiling point right there the night of the event. So.
And if you buy 10 tickets, you'd have a 10 in 2,000 chance.
That's right. That's right.
Increase your odds
of winning.
dramatically. Absolutely. Where does the Myrtle Beach Big Band play on a regular basis, Tonia?
I actually stumbled across them at the Surfside Bowling Alley, the Brick House Lounge.
Wow.
They play there every Sunday night from about 8 until 10:30, if I'm not mistaken. So they have some pretty loyal followers, too, so we're hoping we'll get some of those folks out.
Share with the viewers in particular, if they aren't able to make it this tomorrow night for the event, what are they going to be missing?
Oh, they're going to be missing an evening that is indescribable. Yeah. We have 13 of Myrtle Beach's best chefs coming to prepare gourmet food that you can taste and sample. The live entertainment with the band and the silent auction. We've got tuxedos and men's suits and gift certificates and baskets and all kinds of wonderful items. So it'll just be a fun night that I think we're going to have a good group of people coming out to enjoy.
Absolutely. And of course, you kick off with hors d'oeuvres
Yes.
and cocktails at 6:30. And then the auction is it at 8? Or?
Well, the silent auction is going to be going on when people get there.
Okay.
And we're going to kick off the live auction at 8 o'clock.
Okay, great, great. That's fantastic. Of course, 6:30. Now, if there was a viewer who may not have a tuxedo or may not even have thoughts on the USO theme, could they still come?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's welcome. It's black tie and costume optional, but that's not mandatory.
Right, right. Well, sometimes short notice, it's difficult to
Right.
round those things
Oh,
up,
absolutely.
but hopefully a heck of a lot of folks will come out in their USO costumes. What makes this a special evening for both the patrons and the chefs, Tonia?
Well, the most important thing is our mission and what we're doing for the March of Dimes and Saving Babies. And there are a lot of ambassador families here in Horry County that have benefited from the March of Dimes. So that's the one thing that we need to keep in mind, and that's what we're all here for, and that's what we've worked so hard to achieve for tomorrow night.
And obviously yourself having been affected with the birth defect and recognizing the importance of that. When you think of all the inspirations over the last couple of years getting involved in multiple charitable groups, the March of Dimes in particular, that's really what brought it out for you.
That's right. That's the one that's closest to my heart, although I like to help out as much as I can wherever I can.
You heard her say it. Helping out as much as she
The
can.
volunteer calls will start coming in now, right?
Absolutely, that's right. Give her a call, Tonia Speir, and pop by there as Case Solutions makes some changes on the corner of 10th Avenue and Oak Street. They'll be improving and expanding constantly, but the excitement is there. That's wonderful. Tonia, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Stay tuned to Tammy Eaves coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome back to Carolina People. This morning with the Radisson Plaza Hotel, Myrtle Beach. We're focused on the American Heart Association's 22nd annual Jack Monroe Horseback Ride-a-thon. And we're visiting with Tammy Eaves, the American Heart Association's Senior Area Regional Director. Good morning, Tammy.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for being in this morning, helping us shift away from the March of Dimes event and really get focused on another amazing event that's been happening. Golly, this is the 22nd annual.
That's right. That's right.
Incredible. How many of those years have you been involved, Tammy?
14.
Okay, this is your 14th year with
Yes.
the American Heart
Yes.
Association? Real quick about yourself. Were you originally from the area?
Actually from Aner. Grew up in Aner, went to school there, and lived in Horry County most of my life.
So you know Horry very well.
Very well.
Have you ever left?
Just to go to college and then came right back.
Yeah, great. It is a special county. When you think about all the aspects there, and of course, trying to bring everyone in the county involved in different Heart Association events, you all just had an amazing, or the Heart Association just had a big walk on October 11th. How'd it go?
It was wonderful. We raised $173,000.
No
which was
way.
Absolutely phenomenal. The year prior, we'd raised just a little better than 100, so we, did basically 73% better than the year before. So that was phenomenal for us.
That is amazing. What was the goal this year, Tammy?
It's $115,000, and again, we raised $173,000.
That's almost 50% over the goal.
Right.
That's
right.
incredible.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
And there's a big event coming up, of course, separate from the Ride-a-thon, but in March, in early March, we'll be having the grand opening, the gala
Right.
this year
Right.
for the American Heart Association. This is the 10th annual.
This is the 10th annual, March 6th at the Marriott at the Grand Dunes.
Grand Dunes Resort. That's and of course it's opening just next month, December 15th. So lots getting ready for that. That'll be wonderful. Tammy, let's talk about the Ride-a-thon. Give the viewers a sense of what's happening today. Today's the first day that folks can check in at Lakewood Camp and Resort.
Folks are traveling from all over the United States. We've got lots of trailers that are already coming in, and they'll be checking in today. Some folks will be unloading and getting their campsites ready to actually do some riding. There might be a few horses out on the beach late this afternoon, but they can't ride after dark, so not a lot of riding tonight. However, we will be having a country music awards party. Fits right in with the Country Music Awards, which will be airing around 8 o'clock this evening. So we're going to have a party, and for all those folks that are here, we wanted to have something for them to do. We're actually going to make it a a festive thing where the folks who select the most people that will be winning the awards will get a prize. So,
right.
so it's going to be
Good.
a fun, interactive thing.
Obviously, everyone's so excited about what actually kicks off in 72 hours. Part of the reason I wanted to get you in today to help kick off the 2.5 days focus on the Ride-a-thon was to talk about some potential volunteer needs. If there were folks viewers who maybe have never attended a Ride-a-thon, want to learn more about it, could they still come out and volunteer?
Sure, we need lots of volunteers. We expect over 1,000 horses, and that could equate to 2,000 people. People that may have never been to Myrtle Beach before, may have never been to Lakewood Campground. So they're going to have a lot of questions. If we have volunteers in the area that may have knowledge of horses, we could put them out just riding on golf carts, providing information, answering people's questions. Or if there are folks who just don't really feel comfortable around horses, but they'd like to help the Heart Association.
Right.
We've got activities that they could do to help us too, such as registering people. We even have a barnyard sale, this is where folks have brought in items that they wanted to get rid of, and they're donating them to us, and we'll have a sale over in the arcade area.
Okay.
So, that could be something that a volunteer with, very little knowledge could go over and do something like that. We
Right.
can give them 10 or 15 minutes of training, and they can go sell items there. They can help us with registration. So we need volunteers that are knowledgeable about horses and those that aren't.
Now, would you want potential volunteers to call the Heart Association office or just come on out to Lakewood Camping Resort?
Just come on out to Lakewood, because basically our offices are going to be closed for the next 3 days.
Right.
Because everybody in our office is here.
Right.
So
right.
they can just come on out here. If they are not familiar with where we're at Lakewood, they can call Lakewood 238-5161 for directions. We're actually in the information center, and they can ask for me, Tammy Eaves, and I'll be happy to give them something to do. We need all the volunteers we can
So the
get.
American Heart Association will essentially set up a makeshift office at Lakewood for the
Right.
next 4 days.
That's correct.
Obviously today, Wednesday, leading through Saturday's main event, and of course even church on Sunday.
Right, right. And then Sunday afternoon, when all these campers are pulled out, we need to clean things up. We need to move, all the excess stuff that we have here back to the office. So we could use volunteers Sunday afternoon as well.
So volunteer service is truly, this event would not happen without volunteers?
That's correct. That's correct.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about the barnyard event. You said some training could happen for potential volunteers. Could any training happen for events that actually relate to the horses, or would it mostly be related to the things on check-in and otherwise?
It depends on if a person's very knowledgeable about a horse and feels comfortable being around horses. Yes, we have jobs that people could do outside, actually being around the horses. But again, wouldn't want a first-timer, somebody who's not knowledgeable about horses coming out and having a job of such as helping unload animals or set up equipment, unless they're very familiar with them. But there's lots of things that people can do to help us.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun, too. So
Absolutely.
See folks from all over the United States who are very excited about being in Myrtle Beach. It's maybe their first trip to Myrtle Beach.
Right.
So they have all kinds of questions, not just horse-related questions, but questions about where should we have dinner while we're here, or, is there a great show we could see, and all those kinds of things that maybe retirees that are, listening in today would think, I'm not real sure what I could do to help. Again, there's lots of things they can do.
And you're going to be located where at Lakewood Camping Resort? If they called out there again, that number
238-5161.
Okay.
And I'm in the information center, which is
Right up
Ocean
front. Yeah.
on Ocean Boulevard.
Okay, Ocean Front. Is going to be right down on the water.
Right.
Okay, but if someone came up to the front area, the registration area, when they come in, and they said, I'm here to volunteer for the Heart Association, the front people would know, just send them on back to the ocean.
That's right.
Okay, that's great. How's it been working with the Perry family for the second year?
Fantastic. They're a great group of people who really want to help us. They want to see us successful. They are understanding of horses. It's not like just having a family of 4 come in, for a weekend vacation. You're bringing a 1,500-pound animal. It changes things a little bit, and they're very understanding of that. And they've just been wonderful to work with. Last year, we had some of our riders that were a little bit skeptical about coming because, they just didn't know what to expect. when you're in an organized campground such as this. But they had such a great time that they went back and told all the other folks that they know who have horses, and that's why our numbers have grown so tremendously this year with so many additional folks coming.
Well, we're so excited about getting Don Perry and Jack Monroe in later on Friday, and of course Howard Richardson and Bobby Gale are coming in tomorrow. But just to think about all the activities, all the folks, whether volunteers or sponsors or others, who really have to make this event tick. And what about that Jack Monroe, Tammy?
Yeah, Jack started the ride 22 years ago. He started the ride just because he wanted to see horses be able to continue to ride the beach. He didn't really have a charity in mind. Luckily, he chose the American Heart Association, and as he probably will share with you, he's had several heart attacks. So he chose the right charity for himself personally, as well as we're an organization that does great research with the income that we raise. So we're very appreciative that he chose us, and it's been a great partnership.
And of course, there are probably not any more campsites available for potential volunteers in the viewing area today who may catch the show, be interested in coming down. Lakewood Camping Resort is going to be slammed all weekend long, right? But there's adjacent camping facilities and lots of hotels around. They could easily call Lakewood on the south, Pirate Land on the north, Ocean Lakes on the south and Pirate Land on the north. There are a lot of places that campers could come in and visit if they wanted to be right close at hand to be able to come over and volunteer.
Right, they sure could, and that's a great idea that you mentioned that, because I'm sure Lakewood is going to be full, but there are lots of campsites available at the other two campgrounds, which are right adjacent to the property.
Now, registration tomorrow, I think, is it's not a full, it's from 5 to 8:30 on Thursday. What about Friday, the day before the event?
Friday, it's from 10 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And that will be our biggest day of folks coming in. A lot of folks, take Friday off and spend Saturday and Sunday at the beach. And that will be our most hectic day. Of course, also a lot of folks that volunteer to help us work. So we need as many volunteers as we can get to come out and help us on Friday, because we'll have so many people. The majority of our people, I would say 90% of those 1,000 folks will be there with their horses on Friday.
Okay, now we're talking about 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's the registration on the ocean front.
Right, that's right.
Now, if someone's coming in for the first time, they're going to be coming up to that main area. If they've got a horse behind them on the trailer, is Lakewood going to let them on in? Will they be able to know up front that they've already been pre-registered for the Heart Association?
Well, they know that they're pre-registered through us, but they still have to find out what their campsite number is and be giving some additional information. So someone in their vehicle still has to get out and go into Lakewood.
So there's two levels of registration, one at Lakewood and one for the Heart Association. And this event is here to fight heart disease and stroke.
Right.
That's the big purpose. What about some of the things going on Friday night, the night before the actual ride?
Well, we've got a lot of activities going on Friday. Medieval Times Knights are going to come out at 1:30 and do a fighting presentation, so that should be really great in the amphitheater. They have a show at 4:30, so they needed to do theirs early. And then we will proceed that with a parade. And the parade is actually going to be on Ocean Boulevard in Lakewood Camping Resort. So folks can join in, they can ride on horseback, they can walk in the parade, get dressed up in a holiday attire or whatever they choose to. We have lots of folks coming in from different theaters, and we have a juggler who will be performing. He's actually in the Guinness Book of World Records, Albert Lucas, and he will be our grand marshal for the parade. And then immediately after the parade, he will be putting on a juggling presentation that I can't wait to see. I've heard wonderful, wonderful things about it. He actually does a show opening at the Dixie Stampede sometimes, so I'm sure it's incredible. And then we'll have a karaoke contest from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the amphitheater. And last year we did that, and it was such a huge success that we decided we had to do that again this year. It's amazing the talent that we have from a lot of these folks. So we're really excited about that. On Saturday, Charlie Floyd will be performing at 7 o'clock in the amphitheater. Charlie, of course, is a national recording artist who's local from Earls Inlet, and just got signed with Limerick Street Records. And so that should be an awesome presentation as well on Saturday.
And folks can come in locally and give a donation to the Heart Association to get into that if they're not signed up for the whole event.
That's right. We ask for a $5 donation, and they can be a visitor each day, or come and go as they feel.
Right. We've got a little less than a minute, Tammy. For a first-time person trying to imagine 1,000+ horses out on the beach, can you just give a sense to what folks will see if they get out on Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.? What's happening out there?
It's actually very breathtaking. It's a beautiful sight to see. Some of these horses are worth $30,000, and then some of them are farm animals. So there's some beautiful, beautiful horses. Folks that it kind of looks like a miniature prairie ride in Dallas or something. The way that all these folks are dressed, they're excited to be here. Their horses are sometimes they dress their horses to match their attire. So it's really a very breathtaking experience.
Tammy Eaves lives and breathes to fight heart disease and stroke, and the American Heart Association for the Waccamaw Division has grown so much over the 14 years she's been involved, heading up a heck of a lot of volunteers, and volunteers is such a key word. You can get out there, whether it's today or throughout Saturday, leading into Sunday. It'll be a heck of a lot going on, and they need you desperately. Get out there, just show up. Tammy will find something for you to do. There's a heck of a lot that needs to be done. It'll be an amazing event. Tammy, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. We want to thank Tonia Speir, partner with Case Solutions, and the chairperson for this Thursday night's March of Dimes Star Chefs event, and Tammy Eaves, the regional director for the American Heart Association, and this weekend's 22nd annual Jack Monroe Horseback Beach Ride-a-thon, for making today's Carolina People so special.